May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Roll call, please, Mr. Titus.
Dr. Corleone?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Dr. Kane?
Here.
Dr. Modrak?
Here.
Mr. Marola?
Here.
Ms. Novi?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Mr. Palmer?
Here.
Leanna Mir?
Here.
And Jonathan Pratt.
Here.
Quorum present.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Titus, can you please read the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law statement?
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law is enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice to attend meetings of public bodies and continue business affecting their interests as discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education approved this meeting date. Notice of the meeting has been posted at the Montville Municipal Building, or Montville Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the Montville Public School website, and advertised in the Daily Record.
Thank you. Jonathan Vian, High School Representatives report, please.
So, with strong wins over Glen Rock, New Providence, Paquonic, the boys lacrosse team has improved its record to 3-5. Sophomore star Jake Garb leads the Mustangs with 11 goals in the season so far. The boys tennis team also stands 3-5 and looks to improve their record in today's match against Morristown. The MTHS baseball team stands an impressive 4-2 and plays their 7th game this afternoon against Sparta. The girls softball team also faces Sparta today and looks to improve their 5-3 record. The forensics team traveled to Lazard today for a performance in front of the middle school students, but they have not competed in any tournaments in recent weeks.
Next week, the top business students in the school will travel to Anaheim, California to compete at the second national competition. Congratulations to all the qualifiers: Gianna Prudenti, Lauren Beasley, Kristen Suarez, Jamie Whitner, Matt Perry, Jane Vang, Ali Yu, and Sarah Sauroff. The future business leaders of American Club will also be traveling to Stevens Institute of Technology next Friday, April 28th. The same day, the research and molecular biology class has a field trip planned to go to Wakeman Institute of Microbiology at Rutgers. The MTHS School of Rock will be performing concerts at the high school on both Thursday and Friday.
Well, thank you very much. You continue very fine work. This evening, can't help but notice the two of you have shirts on that have names of colleges. These are the colleges of your choice. Congratulations for making the decision. What made you choose where you're going to be going, Diana?
I liked how close it was to DC.
Fantastic. Jonathan, your choice?
A lot of reasons, but I would say most of the people are really reason for
Great. Good luck to the two of you. Congratulations. Any board member comments or questions? Dr. Ruth or remarks?
Just a couple of things. Last Tuesday, I had the opportunity to attend the 150th anniversary celebration meeting here. The Township Committee, I know Dr. Kane and Mr. Grau were also here. It was a very nice event. I also, yesterday, had the opportunity to participate in a meeting with Senator Pannaccio and Senator Sweeney that was held in Parsippany with representatives from a number of municipalities talking about the issue of state aid for school districts. It's something that both of the senators are very committed to trying to resolve through the budget process, actually. They're hoping to be able to effectuate some change by July 1st. It's a tall task. I don't know whether that's actually possible or not, but it was very nice to have the opportunity, bipartisan opportunity to share our thoughts in terms of some of the concerns that we have about the state aid formula the way it currently stands, and they were very happy to have me involved, so I was glad to be a part of that. That's it for me. I'm actually ceding some of my time to Mr. Bachelor this evening. Later on in the meeting, he'll be doing some training, I guess you could call it, for the board in terms of HIV. So I will seed time him later on.
Thank you, Dr. Rothar. I did hear with respect to the roundtable that you were the only superintendent that attended that meeting, and we really appreciate you representing our district and town. There are no presentations this evening. I am trying to work off of the board docs and not look at the printed material as we continue as a board to work on going paperless. Mr. Titus, do you have a business administrator's report?
Yeah, only to say that there has been no change at this point since my last report regarding the referendum. At this point, they have delivered down to Trenton, and we are waiting for the preliminary eligible costing.
Is there any timeline on that?
60 days, 90 days, somewhere in that time frame. It's not an exact number, but that's about how busy they are.
Any board member comments, questions?
Anything new back here from our architect regarding the application of Trent number from?
No, not as of yet. No, not since last week.
Thank you. Committee reports. Any committee reports? And delegate liaisons.
This past Tuesday, I went to a DAC meeting. Just a couple of brief notes that DAC is looking to do a couple of things. They're looking to sponsor some programs geared toward the middle school students and also for the parents. And they're looking to work with the schools to possibly set up a youth behavioral survey. They have a graduate student who's been working on that, who but it won't be for this year, possibly next year. School Rock is doing a fundraiser for Project Graduation on June 10th. And on May 21st, the Knights of Columbus is also holding a fundraiser for Project Graduation.
Thanks, Lynn.
I have a report from Morris County School Boards. Morris County School Boards met on March 22nd. We met at the mansion in fairly Dickinson University in Madison. It was really a spectacular venue to conduct a meeting. If you've never had a chance to visit the mansion, I would just go visit it. It's really a beautiful piece of architecture. We had 3 presentations that night. The first was a officer from the United States Army, Lieutenant Colonel Edward Fruit, who talked about the Army's pathways to success and some of the opportunities that the Army has for high school graduates and beyond. It was a very interesting talk. Our next speaker was Dave Thompson, CEO of Venus Advisors, and Mr. Thompson spoke about pilot programs, payment in lieu of taxes programs, which are programs requested for projects that would otherwise not be financially viable. Despite no requirements for municipalities to share payments with schools, school districts must be treated fairly, so that's something to keep in mind going forward. The last speaker was Ross Haber of Ross Haber Associates, and he spoke to, he's a demographer, and he spoke to changes in Morris County. Some interesting changes, and ones that I think we found when we did our own demography study, and that is Morris County's school population, school enrollment is down. Morris County is more diverse, older, slightly wealthier. There's a PowerPoint on the Morris County School Board's website. Our next meeting is April 26th, and it'll be back to the building.
Very well. John?
Yeah, the next one, Karen, in Morris County is next week, is it not?
Yes, yes.
Could I think I'm registered to, could somebody else make sure? This is up at, in Denver.
No. It's a celebratory event, so people will be honored.
Sure.
and recognize.
Thank you.
Mr.
O'Brien?
I might be signed up for next week, but I have a conflict. So if Charlie's going to come in, I'm usually signed up. I won't be able to-
Yeah, you can sign up.
Okay, I have a conflict that day, so I won't be able to.
It's all right, if you sign up, there's no charge if you don't go.
Okay.
I don't want his name tag.
I don't believe I've been signed up. If you could please sign me up. Okay.
And one more item, actually, to add to the DAC list, on the 25th, there will be a presentation on the opiate epidemic at the Montville Township High School around 7 o'clock at night, a continuation of last year's program. And actually, under committee reports tonight, we will be voting on a contract proposed by Sky Design Studios for the overall district and THS brand new projects. The committee got to meet with Sky. I'm blanking on weeks already, so was it last week?
We met with them last week, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
And we were blown away by the presentation. His approach looks at the traditions of the community, the symbols of the community, and what's common in the community. They're used a lot of the brainstorming in terms of words that you saw when we wrote the mission and value statements, and really brings an image that is more than just a logo. It is an encapsulation of the community. So we're very excited to see him running around town shortly and see what he presents to both MTHS as an academic proposal, an athletic proposal, and a district-wide proposal. If you'd like to have a chance to meet him, he'll be at the Brain Trust meeting tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, Matt. I'm very excited. There is a communications committee meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
And is that,
6 o'clock.
where is that?
The media center.
Yeah, in the media center, prior to the
Very well. Thank you. Any other liaisons? PTC liaisons? Last week was an off week. Okay. Any additional reports? Move to public participation for items on the agenda only. Seeing as there is none, I'd like a motion to approve agenda items I through O.
Second.
Item I, the board member comments or questions. Item J, any board member comments or questions. Item K. Item L. Am I going too quickly? Is everybody following along?
Just congratulations to, I know she's going to shrink when I say this, but congratulations to Mrs. Woodring, soon to be mommy. And also sad to see that Mrs. Clark has submitted her letter of retirement, but we wish her well.
Thank you, that we do. Item M, curriculum. Item N, any comments, questions? Item O, roll call, please.
Mrs. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Morello?
Yes.
Dr. Cordellino?
Yes, except abstain on check number 85136.
Mr. Grau?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien? Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Any old business?
I don't know if it's old business, but I'll be attending the May 20th delegates meeting. Karen Bennett, one semi-annual delegate.
Delegates assembly.
What?
Delegates assembly.
Yeah, I don't know if I have to be registered, but
Yes.
can you register me for that? I don't know, Mike, if you're
I
gonna
think
go
you
too.
need to register the three of us. I think
Mike's going.
And we're all welcome to go, we can all go.
I think you have to put it on the agenda for the mileage.
Yes.
May 20th.
Anybody else wants to go, so we know John's going?
I'll let you know. I'm going to check my schedule. Jim. Any other board comments? As soon as there is none, public participation for any item. Thank you. Please state your name and address.
My name is Leah Benjamori. I have 2 kids in the high school. Graduated in the last
Just
7
stand a little
years.
closer to the mic.
It's not working.
You can pick it up, it's just happy to hold it.
Okay. Do you mind if I just pass these?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Tula Indira Benjamori. We have been residents of Montville for the past 12 years now. I have 2 kids in the high school. One is a senior and the other one is a freshman. I just passed some information to you guys. I want you to consider the school timings for high school. Like most parents, I will try to make it short. I know you probably all have long days. Today has been a long day, but like most parents, when my kids were having trouble sleeping at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, once they hit the puberty, I blamed it on the technology. And I'm an IT project manager. So I am used to the technology, but I was still blaming technology, thinking that it's probably the cell phones and the Facebooks and whatnot, right? Until I read this article at one of my doctor's visits, I was sitting in the waiting room and I read this article about how the sleep pattern of teenage kids is affected during puberty. And this is a scientific study, I think, I didn't print that particular article because it's very technical, so only doctors can understand it, the majority of it. But I printed the articles that kind of refer to this article, where the scientists actually found that because of the way the anatomy of brain works during the puberty years, their sleep cycle is affected, and the circadian rhythm, and pardon my accent, is affected in such a way that the teenagers don't fall asleep at the same time that the adults do, like us. So their sleep pattern can be shifted as much as by 2 hours. And the reason for this, and it so happens to be coincidental, at the same time the kids get introduced to the technology and the cell phone, so we all assume that it's because of the technology that they are not sleeping, but it's actually a physiological change. And if you check the original technical article, and some of you, if you're doctors, you may understand it better than I do. It's actually the physiology of the brain, or the anatomy of the brain. The way it works is to make them more efficient, their cycles shift a little bit. So this is a scientific study that was published in 2014, and I printed another article that is published in March of 2017, which also refers to the original study in 2014, but also talks about additional research conducted in the last few years, which proves the point that the delayed start time of middle schools and high schools can have a significant impact on the performance of the kids, as well as disciplinary, reduction of disciplinary situations and absenteeism. So I would please request the board to go through the articles, and I would be happy to come back with more research. You guys can see I'm very research oriented. Pardon me if I'm wasting your time, but I would please request you to seriously consider a change in the start of the high school timings. Especially, I remember, most of you remember your little kids jumping on the bed, even when it's a snow day, at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? You want to sleep in. I don't remember my teenage kids ever waking up happily. They always wake up grumpy, they're always sleep-lagged. They come home and try to take a nap, but they have too much homework. It's a struggle that the kids are going through. I would request you to consider it, because it not only affects their performance, which is important, but it potentially could affect the health, as you can see in the articles. So I would request the board to consider this, and please let me know if I should come back to the next meeting and bring it up, or what should be the next steps?
The brain research is something I would say most educators are aware of. This is actually factored into the strategic plan that the board just approved. One of the objectives in that plan is for us to take a look at the high school scheduling. Obviously, that's not going to happen immediately, and our scheduling is complicated by the fact that we need to coordinate those on high school with the elementary and middle school levels as well, and all of the transportation that's involved. But it is something that we had already factored into our strategic plan, and something that we will be taking a look at.
Okay, great. And one of the personal experiences I had is like my niece goes to South Brunswick High School, and their school starts at 8:30. And I already see a difference. My daughter and my niece are 1 day apart. They're just born in the same month, same year. I see the performance difference in both of them. Not just the performance, just the way that, you know, she's more healthier, she's more active during the day compared to my daughter, who's a little, could be the personality too, but I think there is some scientific evidence pointing in this direction. So thank you for considering it already. And please let me know if you need any more information, because I probably could publish a paper myself on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Any other public participation? Seeing as there's none, I have a motion to adjourn.
No.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Steve, I don't like that.
Adjourn, you don't have to. I promise, I will be brief, Charlie. Don't worry, yeah. You all have
Please take as much time as you would like with this very important presentation.
We all know that the HIP law, as it currently stands, has been in effect since January of 11, and I'm not going to go through the history or the underlying investigatory steps that the administration and the staff did. What I want to focus in on is just simply the definition of HIP, possible changes to that definition moving forward in some cases that have already been decided under the law. Specifically, we'll look at slide 3. What is bullying? And bullying is defined as any gesture, any written, verbal, or physical act, or any electronic communication, whether it be one, a single incident, a series of incidents, and now this is the very important part or aspect of the definition, that is reasonably perceived as being motivated either by any actual or perceived characteristic. So there has to be some perception of it. The mere fact that a student may fit into a specific category or have a distinguishing characteristic does not necessarily mean that an act brought upon him or her is automatically hit. You need to look at that reasonable person standard, so you don't even take into account the motives or the intent of the alleged bullies, and you don't even take into account the intent of the target, whether or not he or she perceived it as an act of hit. It needs to be what a reasonable person would perceive it to be, and that's just generally a reasonable person out in society. Again, the act can take place on school property, at any school-sponsored function, on the school bus, or all school grounds. If it takes place off school grounds, of course, it must substantially disrupt or interfere with the orderly operation of the school or the rights of other students. How much is substantial disruption? It could simply mean students talking about it. Enough to cause slight commotion, a little bit of chatty catty between students. That is enough to cause them to at least meet that level. Defining and determining to slide 4, actual or perceived characteristics. Of course, we've become accustomed to them from race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, or a mental, physical, or sensory disability, or any other distinguishing characteristic. And that is truly all-encompassing, as we've seen, where the Commissioner has upheld a HIP finding in the case where a student said vegetarians or stupid vegetarians should eat meat. So vegetarianism is a distinguishing characteristic, and it is really all-encompassing. There was another case in another school district where a student was targeted, let's say, and said, let's go pick it up. You don't play sports that well. You play sports like a girl. And it was the Commissioner too upheld the hip finding and said that not the fact that they were commenting on possibly the student's sexuality, but more on simply his inability to play sports was also a distinguishing characteristic. That definition, what we see is there are proposed amendments that are expected to be accepted and approved, but currently they are in the proposed phase, where that definition of HIB is going to now include a perceived power imbalance. A perceived or real power imbalance now would be a necessary characteristic to the HIB finding. So it's simply not, we're broadening it so it's not just student-on-student conflict. And that's important. In one particular case where a student crumpled up a piece of paper and shoved it down the other student's shirt, there the board found that it was HIB. That HIB finding was appealed to the Office of Administrative Law, and there the ALJ found that there was no motive, putting motive aside, even taking it into account, although it was required. The reasonable person wouldn't perceive it as being motivated by any distinguishing characteristic. It was simply just student-on-student conflict, and that was it. For instance, another case out of Newark, although it preceded the HIB law, Newark had a policy in effect that actually mirrored what became the HIB law. And there the student took his hand behind the heads of two female students and put their heads down towards his groin area. Again, now it would shock it, that type of behavior, and one would think the distinguishing characteristic would be, well, they were female. They were targeted because they were female. There again, the judge found that there was no HIV. There was no distinguishing characteristic met. It was again just simply a boy acting out. And the women actually, with the young female students, didn't even know where their heads were kind of near, which I find hard to believe, but nevertheless, there again, no HIV. And then of course there are multiple cases where there are HIV that we've discussed and gone over, and certainly we can elaborate them on at a later time, but they're on slides 16 through 18. But I just really wanted to focus in on the definition of HIV and take from that, yes, a student may fall into a distinguishing characteristic, but that mere fact does not automatically elevate the act to be an HIV. It needs to be perceived from the reasonable person whether or not that student was targeted because of his or her trait that we've gone over. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? So we're going to proceed back to closed session now. We will not be taking any action, so we'll not be returning out here this evening, and I have a motion for that. We're to discuss it. Sorry.